The woman stood frozen as she saw the man she thought had died young, now quietly sitting in a wheelchair. In that moment, everything she believed shattered. The truth was finally revealed. Everything that happened years ago had been a carefully constructed lie. And the girl who had been tossed aside like garbage? She was her own daughter, the very baby she was told had died during childbirth. Years earlier, she and her husband were a newlywed couple deeply in love. They weren't wealthy, but her husband had spent an entire year saving up to buy her a proper wedding ring, trying to make up for what he couldn't give her before. But just as life seemed to be heading in the right direction, tragedy struck. She suffered a serious complication during childbirth, and the small hospital they went to couldn't handle it. Her husband rushed her to a larger hospital, praying for a miracle. That's when her father, the richest man in the city, showed up. He had always looked down on his son-in-law for being poor and saw him as a disgrace to the family. He hated that his daughter had chosen love over wealth and demanded that the man leave her side forever. The catch? If he walked away and disappeared, the father would agree to save his daughter's life. Her husband, thinking she would be better off returning to a life of luxury, made the painful decision to leave. But then the father handed him their newborn daughter, ordering him to take her away as well. He saw the child as tainted by the blood of the poor and even threatened to throw her into an orphanage. With no other choice, the man took the baby and disappeared. He worked tirelessly on construction sites, trying to provide a future for his daughter until a terrible accident left him mentally disabled. Back in the hospital, the woman awoke to her father's fabricated story. Her husband had died in an accident, and their child hadn't survived. She spent years grieving, often dreaming of her husband's tragic end. She clung to the wedding ring he had once given her, the only reminder of their love. Meanwhile, her daughter, now a little girl, was surviving by collecting bottles and recyclables to support herself and her disabled father. Despite the poverty and the stares, she never gave up. Every day, the girl sold her findings to a gruff man who ran a recycling shop. He seemed mean, always yelling that her cardboard was too wet or dirty. What the girl didn't know was that he'd secretly adjust the scale to give her more money, sometimes even turning a few cents worth into 20 bucks. And while he scolded her harshly, he slipped her new clothes wrapped in a bag, pretending they were rags. The girl was overjoyed. But her mother, still unaware of their connection, couldn't understand why that man was running such a losing business. That's when he pointed to the quiet man sitting nearby, her disabled father. It all became clear. From the day she was born, this little girl had taken on the burden of caring for her father, collecting trash just to save money for his treatment. Her strength and heart were beyond anything her mother had imagined. When the girl saw the kind couple who had helped her, she knelt and bowed to them in gratitude. She had always known they were good people, and she vowed she would repay their kindness one day. But before they could leave, her father suddenly collapsed, foaming at the mouth. Panicked, the couple rushed him to the hospital.